Alrighty, anyway, here we have Falco Lombardi from the OG Star Fox. A Star Fox team pilot, Falco's constant air of casual indifference bellies his practice piloting skills. He avoids discussion of what he did before joining the team, but many consider it likely that his past was filled with reckless behavior. He's not much for cooperation, but he does respect those more skilled than he is. Where his leader Fox has blinding speed, Falco has his own distinct skills and advantages. He has both a higher jump and a longer reach than Fox, and although his blaster lacks rapid fire capabilities, it strikes with shocking force. Unlike Fox, Falco can stop enemies in their tracks with his blaster fire. Falco's amazing jumping abilities have many merits, but it's vital to realize that it comes at the cost of some attack power and defensive strength. He falls at a high speed, which disrupts potential attackers, but this also prevents successful recoveries occasionally. Hit an opponent with Reflector and he or she will fly straight up. This is Falco's quickest attack. Here is the Falcon Flyer. You got the Falcon Flyer by playing 150 versus mode matches. Captain Falcon's speedy mid-size Star Cruiser boasts an onboard computer that allows Falcon to control it remotely. Perhaps that's why it's never appeared on screen in an F-Zero game. Without this ship, Falcon couldn't prowl the galaxy like a lone wolf. The Blue Falcon is a state-of-the-art machine, but it's only used for F-Zero races. Alrighty. Next we have the Fan from Super Smash Bros. The Fan can be swung so rapidly that it leaves opponents unable to counterattack. It is, however, an exceedingly weak weapon. Despite this shortcoming, the Fan is quite effective as a shield breaker, and it works well at disrupting an enemy's equilibrium. Throw the Fan to send your foe bouncing straight up into the sky. Here's the female wireframe trophy. You have to defeat 100 enemies in versus mode. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to defeat 100 enemies in, not versus mode. What was it? Endless Melee, I think. I think we got that on screen. Yeah, versus mode. Yeah, right. I think I actually got this. Yeah, I believe I got this in my, I got this on camera in my Multi-Man Melee video. Anyway, this is the female model of the fighting wireframes. The female's ability are roughly the same as the male models. All the fighting wireframes lack the ability to use special techniques, and their attack lack any real physical strength. Additionally, they're slow and therefore easy to outmaneuver. They tend to attack in ganks. Here is Fighting Kirby from Kirby Superstar. Kirby dons a warrior's headband and becomes a fierce fighter when he swallows an enemy skilled at physical attacks. Fighter Kirby uses many colorful punching and kicking moves as he overpowers his enemies with his sparring skills. The Vulcan jab is just one of the many techniques Kirby can use thanks to his copying power. Here are the Fighting Wireframes trophy. If you guys remember, we got this by completing 15-minute melee. The multi-man melee mode consists of 10-man, 3-minute, endless, and other such matches, which pit you against the fighting wireframes under varied rules. Of particular note is the Cruel Melee, where the wireframes pull no punches. They'll come after you with a single-minded fury rarely seen in CPU opponents. Here is Final Destination. You get this trophy. Of course, we just saw how we got this trophy. You have to complete Event 51, the Showdown. Of course, this is from Melee. As time passes on this stage, the level appears to travel through a wormhole from the imaginary Super Smash Bros. Melee world into reality. You move through a cloud-filled sky over a vast mountain range, then into a deep space vista of dark blues and purples. The scenery is as real as you get in this fantastical world. Here is the Fire Flower. This is from Super Mario Bros. Once you grab this item, press and hold down the A button to make the flower breathe flames until its power gives out. The Fire Flower is incredibly useful when you want to push someone off the edge of a stage. In Super Mario Bros., it transformed Mario into Fire Mario, changing his garb and enabling him to throw fireballs. Here is Fire Kirby from Kirby's Adventure. When Kirby swallows a fire-wielding enemy, he transforms into Fire Kirby. Not only does he breathe fire in this form, but he can also sprout flames on his entire body and damage enemies by crashing into them. Fire Kirby wears the bright red headdress of his enemy, Burning Leo. The hat turns into a helpful weapon when thrown. Here is the Flipper from Balloon Fight. Made famous as an unpredictable obstacle in Balloon Fight, the Flipper stops and hangs in midair when thrown. Any character who comes in contact with the bumper balls on its end will be knocked away as the Flipper spins wildly. Flippers can be a bit irksome in Balloon Fight. They caused accidents to friends and foes alike. Ugh, this fucking trophy. Here is food. How do you get the food trophy? You have to play 1,000 versus mode matches. Ugh. Forgot how long that took. Oh my god. These food items will restore your health when you eat them. There are 28 different types of food, and the nutritional value and yummies quotient differs slightly with each type. Party balls tend to hold the largest amount of food items. You may be vulnerable when gorging yourself, but you do need to eat it to survive. Here's Fountain of Dreams from Kirby's Adventure. This mystical fountain in Dreamland uses the power of the Star Rod to create a gush of pleasant dreams that flow like water. The dreams then become a fine mist and drift over the land, bringing peaceful rest to one and all. It's been confirmed that there are identical facilities on other planets near Popstar. Here are the 4 giants from Majora's Mask: Swamp, Mountain, Ocean, Valley. The 4 who are there. Link summons these 4 giant guardians to aid in his battle against the Skull Kid, who's possessed by Majora's Mask. They appear from the 4 compass points to catch the moon, which is about to crash into Clock Town. Without abandoning the innocent Skull Kid, they're able to protect the town. Here is Fox McCloud from Star Fox. Fox McCloud is the leader of a band of adventurer for hire known as Star Fox. Fox and his fellow pilots Peppy, Slippy, and Falco patrol the Lilat system in their mothership, the Great Fox. From the cockpit of his R-Wing, Fox leads the ceaseless pursuit of the evil scientist Andros, who doomed Fox's father. Fox is among the quickest and nimblest of the Smash Bros. Characters. His speed is offset by low firepower, however, he's better at one-on-one fights than melees with multiple foes. His blaster is unique. It does damage, but it doesn't make enemies flinch. His Fox illusion is best used as a surprise attack. Okay, Fox falls quickly, so he's a tough target to strike from below. However, this advantage can work against him when he goes flying sideways. You can use the control stick to set the direction of the Firefox technique while it's charging up. On a side note, Fox is also much lighter than he was in the N64 Super Smash Bros. Game. Here's Freezy from Mario Bros. Arcade. Freezy slip and slide along smooth surfaces and will happily slide off the edge of a stage if left alone. In Mario Bros., they would stop and freeze portions of the ground. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, they can be picked up and hurled as weapons. Hit a foe with a Freezy and he or she will be temporarily encased in a huge block of ice. Here are the F-Zero Racers trophy. This squad of F-Zero pilots, of course, was first introduced in F-Zero X, and you get this by doing Adventure Mode with all the characters. In the year 2560, an association of wealthy space merchants created the F-Zero Grand Prix in an attempt to add some excitement to their opulent lifestyles. The jet-powered racers have no tires but use G-diffuser systems to float a foot above the surface. Many believe the F-Zero Championship is the highest claim to fame in the galaxy. Here is the Game & Watch trophy. This stage of Super Smash Bros. Melee takes its motif from the Game & Watch series. It incorporates settings from Oil Panic, Helmet, and Manhole, and it's sure to send a wave of nostalgia crashing over old-school gamers. If you want to truly reproduce the Game & Watch experience, try playing this unique level in fixed camera mode. Here is Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time, or at least this incarnation of Ganondorf is from Ocarina of Time. Said to be the sole man born to the Gerudo tribe in 100 years, Ganondorf aspired to conquer the world. He plundered a piece of the sacred Triforce from the Temple of Time when Link pulled the Master Sword from its pedestal. With the Triforce of Power in Ganondorf's possession, Hyrule was plunged into darkness until Link and Zelda defeated the Fiend. Since he's slow and can't jump very high, Ganondorf relies mainly on his immense physical strength to overwhelm his enemies. His great weight also makes him a difficult foe to send off-screen. Ganondorf's Warlock Punch is slow, but absurdly powerful. And when he strikes with his Gerudo Dragon, enemies rise skyward enveloped in dark flames. Ganondorf's slow speed works against him in single combat, but in melees, his crazy power lets him earn his keep with innumerable KOs. And Ganondorf can't strike quickly, but each blow he lands adds up. Ganondorf is at his quickest when he uses the Wizard's Foot, and his Dark Dive blasts foes in a burst of dark energy. Here we have the GCN, or the GameCube. Nintendo's latest bundle of joy arrived in North America on November 18th, 2001, and video game fans rejoiced. You betcha. This little beauty is sleek, compact, and full of cutting-edge technology. Incorporating optical media for the first time, the Nintendo GameCube was truly born to play. Rumor has it that Super Smash Bros. Melee is a software title for this wondrous device. Here is Giga Bowser from, of course, Melee. How do you get Giga Bowser? You have to defeat Giga Bowser on Adventure Mode without using continues. How do you get Giga Bowser to appear? I mentioned this, I think, very briefly, but just in case I didn't, you have to play on at least normal difficulty. You have to play Adventure Mode, on at least normal difficulty. So you can't do it on easy or very easy. And you have to defeat all the stages on Adventure Mode, including the Big Bowser, not this Bowser, but the first incarnation of Bowser, within 18 minutes. So, I don't think I knew the time limit that we're supposed to do, but the time limit for Giga Bowser is 18 minutes. So, an even more imposing figure than the original King of Koopas, Giga Bowser is roughly twice of his scaly, fire-breathing, spike-studded Super Smash Bros. Melee counterpart. Predictably, this monstrous creature's offensive and defensive powers are a grade higher than those of regular Bowser. Good luck defeating this Colossus. Here is Goldeen from Pokemon Red and Blue. Goldeen, anyway, these water types are often referred to as water dancers, as their elegant fins make them incredibly agile underwater. They can even travel upstream in rapids at a speed of 5 knots. Of course, they're not quite as nimble on dry land. Goldeen's horn drill is so strong that it can KO an enemy with one strike after it connects. Here is Gooey from Kirby's Dream Land 2. While Kirby swallows enemies in order to copy their powers, Gooey wraps them up in his tongue to steal their abilities. In Kirby's Dream Land 2, he occasionally appeared inside a bag, but by Kirby's Dream Land 3, he was a full-fledged partner. He could be controlled by setting him up as player 2. Here is the Goomba Trophy. You may remember we got the Goomba Trophy in Event 14, which was the first trophy tussle. Goombas are actually traitors who've defected from the Mushroom Kingdom's forces. They're a slow and predictable nuisance, as they always try to wander into Mario's path. Fortunately for Mario, they don't have much stamina, as a single jump on the head is generally enough to defeat them. Here is Goron from Ocarina of Time. Forgot to say that Goomba was from the OG Mario Brothers, as if that isn't common knowledge, but whatever. Goron, of course, was first from Ocarina of Time. Most Gorons inhabit the stony slopes of Death Mountain. They can achieve incredible land speeds by curling up into balls and rolling. They also curl up into small balls to sleep. They're a gentle and calm people, but their leader, Darunia, is impassioned and brave. Gorons use strong and dexterous fingers to make blades and bombs. I also love the Gorons in Twilight Princess. I love those guys. Here's Great Fox from Star Fox. The mothership of the Star Fox team. When in battle, the ship's robot, Rob, can assume control of the bridge, allowing all hands to take their R-Wings or combat positions. The ship runs plasma engines capable of warp speeds, and its front lasers are effective both in battle and in clearing paths through asteroid belts. Here's the green shell from Super Mario Bros. Hit or throw a green shell and it'll follow the contours, of the environment, causing heavy damage to any character it hits. These Koopa shells have many uses in the Mario series. They've been picked up, kicked, thrown, swallowed, and even spit out. Mario just uses them as tools to pummel Bowser's numberless henchmen. Okay, here's the hammer from the Donkey Kong arcade game. If you grab the hammer, you'll run across the screen, swinging it back and forth non-stop. In Donkey Kong, Mario used the hammer in exactly the same fashion. It's an extremely powerful item, but you have no recovery move when carrying it. Every now and then, the mallet head will fall off, and you'll end up completely vulnerable, swinging just the handle. Here's the Hate Giant from Dosen the Giant, the Japan exclusive game. A reincarnation of the sun that appears on the solitary island in the South Seas. Doshin feeds off the emotions of the islanders to grow into a giant. The islanders named it for the sound of its heavy footsteps, Doshin. The red color of this Doshin points towards its malignant nature. It knows but one thing: destroy, destroy. Here's the heart container from The Legend of Zelda. How do you get the heart container? You have to play 100 versus mode battles. The heart containers drift towards the ground slowly and replenishes 100 percentage points of health. In The Legend of Zelda, these items beefed up Link's life meter. In most cases, Link found them in the possession of bosses or hidden in secret areas. Heart containers are often scattered across the land in several fragments. Here is Heracross from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Heracross are powerful creatures that are known to drive their single horns into the bellies of their foes and then toss them over their heads. The immense power of their Mega Horn move is said to be the strongest among Insectoid Pokemon. They are one of several types of Pokemon that can be found by shaking trees. Here is Heririn, I never knew how to pronounce that, from Kururin. People from Japan, please don't kill me. Kururin sets off in his specialized helicopter to rescue his siblings who have lost their way somewhere among 10 worlds. The helicopter is fitted with an enormous blade, which propels the machine forward by slowly rotating. The maze that Kururin must navigate are narrow and filled with all kinds of strange obstacles. It's the home run bat from Super Smash Bros. Smash an enemy with the slugger and you'll send them flying out of sight. Hence the name Home Run Bat. The sound of the bat being swung immediately strikes fear into the hearts of opponents and can turn the tide of a battle. It's slightly risky to use though because it has a very limited range and it takes up a little time to wind up for your swing. Here is Ho-Oh from Pokemon Gold and Silver. As it soars around the skies of this world, this multicolored flying Pokemon leaves a trail of rainbows and mitts in its wake. Its signature move is called the Sacred Fire, and it is believed to appear only before trainers who are pure of heart. If you see a trainer with Ho-Oh, you can assume that catching it took a lot of work. Okay, here we have the Ice Climbers. That's Popo in the blue and Nana in the pink. These two stars of the game Ice Climber have scaled many an icy summit in their mountaineering careers, back in their glory days. They chased eggplants, cucumbers, and other vegetables that inexplicably fell from frosty summits where Condor reigned supreme. They're rarely seen apart. This unique twosome fights together as a team. Your score will not be affected if the CPU control character is KO'd, but a lone Ice Climber won't be able to use teamwork moves, which will make for a tough and frantic solo fight. The Ice Shot fires mini glaciers out of their hammers, while Squall Hammer is at its strongest when Nana and Popo combine their strength. The colors of the Ice Climbers' parkas denotes who's in the lead. Nana's in the pink and orange, while Popo's in green or blue. Their hairstyles are also slightly different. Belay allows them to cover great distances, but doesn't give foes the chance to target their landing. Blizzard is best used in close quarters. In the fray, Nana and Popo will sometimes freeze opponents. Here is Jigglypuff from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Jigglypuff, which evolves into Jigglypuff, are so incredibly elastic that they always seem to be bouncing. They have extremely stubby legs, so for these Pokemon, bounding from place to place is much faster than walking. Unlike its equally adorable relatives, Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff, and Jigglybuff has red eyes. Here is Jeff from Earthbound, another of Nets's close friends in Earthbound. Jeff is the only son of the famous scientist Dr. Andonuts. Jeff is a mechanical genius able to turn common, broken tools into complex weapons like the Hungry HP Sucker and the Slime Generator. He's a bit on the shy side, but incredibly intelligent and brave in the heat of the battle. Here is Jigglypuff from Pokemon Red and Blue. This balloon Pokemon invites its opponents in close with its big round eyes and then puts them to sleep with a soothing lullaby. It puffs itself up when angry, and while it may look adorable, it's not to be trifled with. It knows several powerful techniques. Jigglypuff evolves into Wigglytuff after exposure to a Moonstone. Jigglypuff's normal attacks are weak, and because of its light weight, it's easily sent flying. However, with its incredible mid-air agility, it seems to dance when airborne. Rollout is a powerful speed attack, but be careful not to fly off the edge. Pound does serious damage and can also help as a recovery move. Jigglypuff can put its enemies to sleep if they are in range of its Sing attack. Although the attack does not work on airborne foes, Rest puts Jigglypuff into a deep sleep. But at the instant it drops off, an intense energy force radiates out of the exact center of its body. If this force comes in contact with an enemy, look out. Jigglypuff's Rest is Jigglypuff's wild card. Here is Jody Summer donning the white cat from F-Zero X. An ex-fighter pilot, Jody brings her skills to the F-Zero Grand Prix as an ambassador of the interstellar regime. Her machine, the White Cat, is not built for strength or endurance. However, it's incredibly light and has excellent traction. A good match for beginners. The White Cat's a solid all-around racer. And I agree, the White Cat is awesome. Okay, here we have Kensuke Kimachi from 1080 Degree Snowboarding. Unfortunately, he did not come back for 1080 Degree Avalanche, but that's okay. 1080 Degree Avalanche, by the way, that's a game we'll definitely do in the future. A member of the vertical air snowboard team of Japan. He's 19 years of age and a top boarder in Japan, but his team is still working on achieving world-class rankings. Kensuke is a mellow, laid-back guy who gets bored quickly with things that don't spark his interest. He plays a lot of Nintendo games when he's not writing. Here is King DDD from Kirby's Dream Land. DDD's the self-proclaimed king of Dreamland. While he says he's the king, DDD performs no administrative functions, and the citizens of Dreamland continue to live as they always have. He's able to suck in air and fly like Kirby does, but only as a result of the vigorous training he undertook after being bested by Kirby. Here's King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country, the demented head of the Kremlins and big boss in the Donkey Kong series. Excuse me. K. Rool is a giant greedy glutton with a serious eye tick. While he fits the evil boss mold nicely, he's just enough of a bumbler to have gained a few fans over the years. His plans to blow up the DK Isles with his Blastomatic shows how unbalanced he is. Here's our good friend Kirby from Kirby's Dream Land. A Denzian of the far-off peaceful planet Popstar. Kirby became a citizen of Dreamland after defeating King Dedede, even though he's only about 8 inches tall. Kirby is an extremely skilled technician. He has the unique ability to absorb powers of his enemies, and his elastic body makes him a versatile adventurer. Kirby's small size lets him dodge many attacks, but his lightweight makes him fly far when struck. Using his ability to inflate, he can jump 5 times. His swallow attack creates wild combos. Not only can he copy foes' moves, but he'll also put on special hats and mimic their voices. His hammer is unwieldy but powerful. Because of his light weight, Kirby is always in danger of being sent flying, but his ability to puff up and fly allows it to come back from amazing distances. His final cutter strikes on the way up and on the way down, and it sounds out a beam of force upon landing. Kirby transforms into various objects and crashes down when he uses his stone technique. Here's Kirby Hat 1. This is one of 5, so get used to seeing this for a little while. All the Kirby hats, of course, originate from Melee. Here's Kirby sporting several results of his copy ability. In Link's hat, he can shoot arrows, while Mario's cap gives him access to fireballs. The Donkey Kong suit offers up a giant punch, while Samus's helmet allows Kirby to fire off charged up energy shots. Finally, while wearing the Yoshi hat, Kirby can swallow enemies and turn them into eggs. It's Kirby Hat 2. Kirby's got several of his finest hats on here. In Ness's baseball cap, he can use the power of Psy to unleash PK Flash, while Captain Falcon's visor gives him the ability to unleash a huge punch. His adorable Pikachu cap comes complete with stored up electric charges, allowing him to shock his foes. And the fox ears come with a matching blaster. It's Kirby Hat 3. With all of these hats, Kirby could open his own haberdashery. I love that. Peach's crown lets him use Toad, while the Ice Climber parka allows him to shoot ice blocks. Kirby has fire breath in the Bowser horns, and he can copy Zelda in both her forms. In Zelda's headdress, he can use Nehru's love, while Sheik's wrap gives him a needle arsenal. Kirby Hat 4, you get this one by unlocking Luigi, Jigglypuff, Mewtwo, Game & Watch, and Marth. I've already explained how you unlock all those characters, so don't ask me again. Looks like Kirby's copied a bunch of hidden characters. Oh, really? In Luigi's hat, he can shoot green fireballs, while copying Mewtwo gives him the power to throw shadow balls. Copying Mr. Game & Watch lets Kirby hurl sausages, and doing the same to Jigglypuff earns him a rollout move. Mart's hair comes complete with a powerful shield breaker move. It's Kirby Hat 5. You get this by unlocking Roy, Pichu, Ganondorf, Dr. Mario, Young Link, and Falco. Which I guess obviously makes sense, because that's all the characters on screen. Secret hats galore. In Pichu's hat, Kirby can shoot out electricity, while Dr. Mario's headgear gives him Mega Vitamins. When Kirby wears Falco's beak, he gets to use Falco's powerful blaster. By the same token, he can fire arrows while in Young Link's cap. When Kirby copies Ganondorf, he gets the Warlock Punch, and copying produces a Flare Blade. Here's Claptrap from Donkey Kong Country. This low-slung alligator made its first appearance in Donkey Kong Country. You can subdue it by jumping on its back, but its powerful jaws make it dangerous to approach from the front. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, it swims in the river and sometimes jumps in the barrel cannon to stop players from using it. Here is the Koopa Clown car from Super Mario World. Bowser's single-seat personal airship doesn't exactly handle like a dream, but it wasn't designed to be sporty. The Koopa Clown car was made to carry Bowser's huge weight, not to mention a logic-defying arsenal of massive bowling balls. In Super Mario World, Mario busted the Koopa Clown car by pelting it with Mecha Koopas. Here's Koopa Paratroopa from Super Mario Bros. These winged Koopa Troopas can fly, but they're none too smart. They tend to spend a lot of their time simply jumping or fluttering around a small arena. As a result, no one exactly thinks of them as majestic, soaring creatures. They lose their wings and become normal Koopa Troopas if Mario or Luigi jumps on their backs. And here's Koopa Troopa, also from Super Mario Bros. Common soldiers in Bowser's army, Koopa Troopas can retreat into their shells. Unbelievable as it may seem, they're clearly unaware of being kicked and sent sliding when in this position. There are many Koopa types, each with a different shell color and unique traits. They all wear t-shirts and shorts under their shells. Here is Kraid from Metroid. Oh, how do you get Kraid? I think it's either you have to play 50 or 100 versus mode matches. I used to know this offhand. I don't remember. I think it's 100, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll look it up after. A boss enemy from Metroid, Kraid lives in the depths of Brinstar. He immobilizes enemies with his 3 red eyes, and his powerful jaws can crush anything. He can also shoot 3 spikes in his belly. It's said he often fires them at his prey. Once Samus defeated Ridley and Kraid, the way to Torian opened.